Good evening. In the northeast of England has spawned many brilliant people with ideas, inventions and innovations that are responsible for changing the world. And some of them we still use today. This area of England boasts not just scenic panoramas and beautiful cities, it is the home of some of the best companies, universities and innovation centres in the country. Here we look at some of the major inventions and innovations and first for the region and everything that they have brought to the world. And you'll have to stay at the end because the final one was sort of made in the northeast in a roundabout way, but you'll have to wait and see. So let's begin. And first we're going to talk about this guy. This is William Walker Hunter, and he was a pharmacist in Newcastle upon Tyne, and he formulated glucoside in 1927, and it was a carbonated glucose and water solution designed as an easy source of energy for the sick. And that's what it was back then, particularly for children with flu and jaundice. And who can remember the glass bottles with a crinkly yellow cellophane wrapped round it? And it was particularly brung to hospitals from visitors to their patients. And it was mainly sold in pharmacies. And it was like that for decades. But in 1938, the brand was bought by a pharmaceutical company, Beecham, and they bought it for roughly about 10 grand. And they shortened the name to Lucozade. And for nearly 50 years, it was a hospital staple with the slogan, Lucozade is recovery. Faced with declining sales and health improved, the brand was radically repositioned in 1983 as a sports performance drink. The slogan changed from Lucozade replaces lost energy, and the iconic yellow cellophane disappeared, being replaced by more modern design. High-profile campaigns featuring the likes of athlete Daley Thompson and footballer John Barnes tripled the sales between 1984 and 1989. The brand later introduced Lucozade Sports, an isotonic drink, in 1990, and added flavours like lemon, orange and tropical. The next inventor on the list is this bloke, William Hadley, and he was a dental mechanic. And in 1929 he invented a formula in his garden shed in Heaton and called it Domestos. Hadley initially bought sodium hydrochlorate, a waste product from ICI Chemical Works in Billingham, and experimented with it at home in his shed. He realised its potential as a steriliser and cleaner, and the brand was born. The name Domestos is said to come from a mix of Latin domnus, which means home, and the Greek ostum, which means bone. I probably haven't pronounced them right, so I'll put them on the screen. The meaning stand the backbone of the home. In those early days there was no plastic bottles, so Hadley and his salesmen used to travel from door to door in Newcastle, first on horse-drawn carts and then on bicycles, refilling customers' own stone jars. In 1961, Domestos was acquired by the industrial conglomerates Lever Brothers and introduced to the world as a product we know and use today. Another everyday object that was made in Northeast was your light switch. Yes, that little switch that puts the house lights on was brought to us by another Newcastle inventor by the name of John Henry Holmes. In 1884, Holmes patented the now familiar light switch, which came about as a result of installing lighting into his father's home in Newcastle. The quick break mechanism still used in light switches today was revolutionary as it increased the life of the switch. by reducing the time of lag by the contacts coming together, and it was also considered less of a fire hazard. And number 4 on the list is windscreen wipers. Yes, you heard me right. Cars were not always the convenient electronically equipped vehicles they are today. A little more than 100 years ago, you could not simply drive along during a rain shower and see promptly out the front windscreen. Well, Newcastle native Gladstone Adams fixed that with the invention of the windscreen wiper. Gladstone was driving home from a Newcastle FA Cup match and it started to snow. And after stopping several times, he realised the solution and thus came up with the wiper, patented in 1911. And you can see his design still on display in the Discovery Museum. And finally, did you realise that the famous desk in the Oval Office actually started life on the banks of the River Tyne? It did. Every time you see the US President sitting behind that massive Resolute desk in the Oval Office, you're looking at timber that was shaped right here in Newcastle. The desk was crafted from oak of the HMS Resolute, a ship that was originally launched as the Ptarmigan from T&W Smith's shipyard at St. Peter's Basin in 1850. After being bought by the Royal Navy to search for a lost Franklin expedition, she became trapped in the Arctic ice and was abandoned. She was discovered years later by an American whaler. The Americans eventually restored the ship and returned it to Queen Victoria as a sign of friendship. And when the ship was finally broken up, the Queen ordered a desk to be made and sent back to the White House as a gift. It is incredible to think that a vessel built by the hands of the Geordies could end up at the centre of such a global power. Well, I hope you enjoyed that video. If you did, don't forget hit that subscribe button, give this video a thumbs up, hit that notification bell for future videos, and feel free to put a comment down below. We're always happy to read them. I know there's a lot of big names we've probably missed out there, like Joseph Swan and the Stevensons and people like that, but you know, it brings something a little bit different. Anyway, we'll see you on the next one. Thanks for watching.